Speaking and understanding speech are crucial human behaviors. Picture not being able to speak or hear. You're cut off, distant. There is hope and help for thousands of patients in our community. Patients go to Savannah Speech and Hearing Center to get the best intervention. Led by speech pathologists and audiologists with decades of experience, the facility is also the only nonprofit speech and hearing center in southeastern Georgia. It even offers a sliding scale fee for most services. Since 1954, Savannah Speech and Hearing Center has provided an extensive array of services to our community, like a cochlear implant program, children's hearing aids, free hearing screenings in schools, speech and language pathology, and a stroke support group. This helps thousands of people live normal lives.
It's a great resource for the community. It's a great place for the community. They provide services and opportunities for so many different people and so many different things, and they help out. They never turn anyone down. In any population, they see children, they see adults, they see, teens, young adults. There's something here for everyone.
ABCs, words, nothing would stick. He just never could get it. We tried reading, we tried everything. I've tried about 20 different programs for dyslexia. I searched and searched and searched. Savannah area does not have anything for this kind of problem.
Yeah, the series and the program is kind of cool because you want to know what happens next, because it's kind of like it kind of stops at the end of the story and the other story keeps on going with it, so it's fun.
How many of those have you read, do you know?
53 books.
53 books.
53 books.
Children that can't get these services tend to be left behind in school. They can be left out. They could feel isolated amongst their peers, not understood, and that could translate into other psychological or development things that could affect them later in their adult life.
Chloe was born with cleft lip and palate, and her plastic surgeon, Dr. Ruff, and her orthodontist, Dr. Broderick, told us about Savannah Speech and Hearing and got her in here when she was about 2.5, 3 years old. It was immediate. They did a lot of games. She talked to them in interaction rather than one-on-one. And she would come home and I could tell the difference. It was kind of hard for me to get used to her speaking clearly.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to say my R's correctly.
It's amazing what they've all done. And the stigma's different. She's handled it better than I have. She really has. The teacher called me and said on the first day of first grade, she stood up when they had to introduce themselves and said, I was born with cleft lip and palate. I talk funny, I have a scar, and if you have questions, please ask me, but don't talk behind my back. And I think she's gotten that from the support she's gotten through the memorial system and everything that they've done.
I know stroke group is a huge, huge thing. They'll go pick them up from their house and bring them here. They'll bring breakfast, or they'll hang out with them outside of the group. And I don't think you would get that one-on-one connection really, anywhere else. It's a really strong community, family bond here.
I thought it was more speech therapy because I just had this stroke. My world had been turned upside down. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was bulletproof. The group was a whole new experience. I just wasn't used to it. If you haven't had a stroke, you don't really understand. But the people that come have had one, so they are like family. It's a benefit to someone who has a stroke because they can be with other people that are the same. Even the caregivers don't realize what it's like.
There's a gentleman who comes to the stroke group. He had a stroke several years ago, And up until that point of his life, he could, he had no problem with communication. But now it's a huge deal for him. So last time I had a conversation with him, he actually broke down, he started crying to me. A grown man. Because, the stroke group and everything, all the people here and all the services he's been offered have really instilled kind of this self-confidence that I think he had been lacking the past few years because he wasn't able to communicate. So it's things like that, that really keep you motivated.
Savannah Speech and Hearing Center developed the area's only auditory oral preschool program for children ages 2 to 6 with cochlear implants. The program is designed to teach children to speak and understand spoken language.
They never turn anyone away. They have the sliding fee scale. So if you come here and you don't have the means to maybe have therapy or some of those services, they never turn anyone away.
In February, we decided to go forward with the surgery. And ever since then, she's been a different little girl. She knows that something has happened to her and she's able to hear more, and being in the program that she's in with Sound Start has done significantly change. We could see a significant change in her.
Dr. Goldsmith, he took care of our baby, and
a lot of prayers.
We
had a lot of prayers, and we knew that she had to get the surgery. So, because you have a choice of whether your child's, you want them to continue to be deaf and they just learn sign language, or you want them to hear. And we just really feel that, it's God's desire for her to hear. And so I know that she will have a voice, later on in the world, and really inspire and, pull others to, if they want to hear that, that they can.
The services that we're getting here at Sound Start, and the program actually that she's in right now, she's in the program from 9 in the morning to 3 in the evening, and it's basically to help her understand, what she's hearing, and we know she does hear now. She recognizes sound, but she doesn't recognize the sound that she hears, and they're teaching her how to recognize the different sounds and to correlate that into communication and to communicate with us. So she's learning her name, which is huge for us.
Miss Tracy said, she called her name and she just looked up, and I'm like, did she just do that?
Yeah.
She just said her name and she called. So I was like, wow, this school is definitely for her, Sound Start. So, it's just a blessing, because my fear is if she runs out in the road, or if there's a dog charging at her and she don't see him, I'm calling her name and she won't hear, or if there's any kind of danger. So right now, to know that she can hear or recognize her name when you say it, that's a blessing.
Once we got the news that there will be opportunity for her, it was very emotional for us, because it was kind of like one of those moments where, a door opened up that we couldn't foresee happening, but we didn't want to close the door before it had an opportunity to open. So we pretty much stepped out and say, let's look and just try. And, if we get shut down, if it's a no, then at least we know we tried, and the feeling of her getting accepted into the program, it was overwhelming. I know I cry. I feel like I'm about to cry again just thinking about it. But my desire for my daughter and my children and my wife is to have the best opportunity, in life. And a lot of times as a father, I feel like I'm inadequate. I don't be able to provide everything I need. And being that she had hearing loss and that she needed to learn, I felt like I wasn't going to help her succeed in life, because she was going to have this crutch or disability all her life, and she's going to be canceled out, or she's not going to have the opportunity. No one's going to see how smart or how bright she really is. But now we have like a renewed hope, for her, her different interests. You know, she loved to play basketball. I'm like, well, she's never going to be able to do that. Now I'm thinking maybe she will. You know, so you know, and she loves to pick up a book. But I'm like, well, how will she ever learn how to read? You know, if she can't hear, she will never know. But now, all of these different things that we see in her, we actually believe that it can actually happen. So I know I'm grateful.
You know, because I really feel like once, you know, she'll be unstoppable then. She really will. She'll be able to have all the opportunities as another child that doesn't need it. So that's what I'm excited about.
So there was always a hope. You know, I say it openly. You know, I used to pray over her ears every night before she went to bed because my desire is like, you know, for her to hear. So it was like, you know, like I expressed earlier, after we came to see the program, the hope was renewed that there's an opportunity for her to speak, because the hope and even though we believe we have faith, it started to dwindle. It's been so long and she wasn't having any progress. Once she got accepted into the program, then, you know, the light started to shine a lot more.